So I want to have a little bit of a discussion on the training that Goku and Vegeta have undergone in the last couple of Dragon Ball Super Manga chapters. Some people have been criticizing the training in the last couple of chapters, and I wanted to give my 2 cents on what has gone on. Now, one thing I want to address right now is that a lot of people have not read the original Dragon Ball manga, and I would encourage people to read the manga, the original manga. I'm talking about the one that Toriyama put out, the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Obviously, in Japan, there was no Dragon Ball Z manga, which is Dragon Ball start to finish, and so the Z part from Raditz to Buu was just Dragon Ball. And one of the things that I've noticed that a lot of people may not remember or may not even know is that in the original Dragon Ball manga, there really wasn't a lot of training that was shown on screen or on panel, that is. A lot of the training Toriyama chose to leave off. And I think that the current Dragon Ball manga, although we see Dragon Ball Super, that is, although we see a lot of training, we don't see it as much as you would say for the anime. The Tournament of Power, sort of the pre-Tournament of Power, like the build-up to it, was a lot different in the manga than the anime, probably because I think Toyotaro was trying to follow Toriyama's footsteps, so to speak. And so with the current Dragon Ball Super arc, a lot of folks were saying that it felt like, maybe it was a bit rushed. And I actually asked a lot of the people in the fandom, what they thought about this. And a lot of them seemed to say that, no, it wasn't really rushed. And I somewhat agree in that aspect, in that I think there's more coming. Now, with that being said, in the original Dragon Ball manga, a lot of the training was left off screen. Like I said, a lot of the training that we saw in the anime of Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball Z, was something that was only in the anime. It was sort of, it was filler, but it wasn't like filler in the sense of like bad filler. It was done to kind of pad things out and to kind of show us more of Goku and Vegeta's sort of ascension to becoming better warriors. Now, in the current Dragon Ball Super manga, people have criticized Goku dodging Whis' staff as being a bit of, they're saying that it wasn't enough. And I kind of understand where they're coming from, although I'm not sure I can really justify that being necessarily a bad thing. I'm a bit mixed on that as far as where we're going, because you have to understand that Goku training with Whis, we've seen a lot of this since the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. And I feel like at this point, the idea is for Goku to master UI and base. And one thing you have to understand is that Whis is using Ultra Instinct at all times. That's something he himself said. So when Goku is dodging Whis' staff, the speed that Whis' staff is at is unquantifiable by the human eye. So Toyotaro has to figure out some way to explain to us that the training, and you can see it here, to explain to us that the training is more impactful than it used to be. You know what I mean? This training, although it may look similar to what Goku and Vegeta have done throughout the years in Dragon Ball and into Z, even though Vegeta was not in Dragon Ball, I'm talking about Goku there. It's one of those things where I don't think it's really that. I think you have to remember, I think what Toyotaro's banking on us remembering is that Whis is the one who's handling this staff, not Master Roshi, not Karin, not Kami, not Kaiosama. It's Whis who's doing it. So, because it's Whis who's doing it, I think that it lends itself for us to understand. And as you can see right here, it even says that, Goku has to calm his heart. Now, again, this is a lesson that Goku learned before. In fact, if you go back to Dragon Ball Z, it was, Goku telling Frieza that he needed to calm down, that he shouldn't let his anger consume him. Same thing with what he told what he told Gohan, to become full power Super Saiyan. There's a lot of very similar things here, So I'm going to go into this more in a minute with Vegeta, but I want to focus on Goku first. I feel like, yes, I think that Goku learning his own lessons is something that we've seen time and time again in Dragon Ball, and I do have a solution for that here in a minute, which I'm going to get to. Just bear with me. But at the same time, you have to remember Whis is the one that's really sort of hammering home. You have to remember he's the one doing it. Now, the same thing goes for Beerus, right? I think Toyotaro may have struggled with how to sort of visualize this, but I think in Goku's case, it makes sense. Now, in Beerus's case, which I'm going to get to here in a minute, let me get to it here. I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. One moment. We're going through. Yeah, like here we have Goku and the staff. I don't think that was really that bad at all. I know some people didn't like that, and I understand why, but I think it makes sense considering it's Whis. Now, here with Vegeta, I think one of the issues that people are running into is, well, it's just rocks. And I mentioned that in my review. I was like, well, it's just Vegeta training with rocks. But it is Beerus that's giving him the rocks. So I think Beerus being the one that's training Vegeta, you have to remember that this is all happening at extreme speed. Okay? And so Vegeta learning how to use Hakai is not just a power-based thing or a technique-based training necessarily. It's also something that it's Beerus. Beerus is the one that is sort of launching these things at Vegeta. Now, I do think there could have been more creative ways to illustrate Vegeta's training. For example, I think Vegeta using Hakai, maybe having Beerus using Hakai on Vegeta, having him sort of learn how to reverse it, or having Vegeta attempt to Hakai maybe planets and things like that. Bigger objects may have been a better way to illustrate it. Maybe some of the planets that Beerus manifested, or maybe even bring in one of the Supreme Kais to create a planet because they are the gods of creation. Like, out from scratch, just a rock, so to speak, and have Vegeta destroy that may have been more impressive, but I understand why they did it this way. I do get it, although there could have been better ways to do it. Like I said, the fact that it's Beerus who is the one doing it, I think sort of illustrates that point. Now, with that being said, how could they have done this? What could they have done to improve this? And I think one of the issues they're running into here is that we're seeing Goku and Vegeta's training, and it does come off a bit boring for long-time Dragon Ball fans, only because we've seen this time and time again. I think the key to really overcoming this, and I might do a whole video just focused on this, is to focus on other characters. I think Goku and Vegeta being the only ones that train is getting long in the tooth at this point. I think that if we have characters like, Gohan and Piccolo, and maybe even going all the way back to older characters like Tenshin Han and, Yamcha, I think if they do that, I think that would improve the story of Dragon Ball, because at that point we kind of have, well, first of all, everyone wants Gohan to do better, right? Everyone wants that, and Piccolo. So I think having them train with the gods at some point, which we have not seen yet, is something that needs to happen in Dragon Ball in order to quantifiably put Goku and Vegeta on the sidelines, albeit even if it's temporary, to give Gohan a chance to get better by having them train. And have Goku do more of like a mental kind of training, like what Frieza was doing and what Goku and Vegeta have done in the past, but also possibly have Gohan improve that way. And also same thing goes for Kaba, Caulifla, and Kale. If they're going to actually do the Granolah Arc, which we've all been waiting for, I think it's about time they do it, to have Goku and Vegeta become coaches and have them sort of take the center stage. I think that's a more effective way of sort of, instead of having it always be the Goku and Vegeta show, do that even if it's just for a couple of arcs before we go back to Goku and Vegeta being in the spotlight. I think that we really have to put them aside for just a little bit. Even if you're a Goku and Vegeta fan, put them aside for a while, let other characters catch up. That's something that I discussed in other videos, which I'll link here in just a moment for y'all to watch. But I also feel like that's something that needs to be done. Actually, it should be on screen now. In addition to that, I think that we really need to see Goku and Vegeta take a break, not just by going by the end of Z with Oob, but just focusing on other characters. Oob is one example, but I think they could do it with that. With having a focus on even the Pride Troopers, somebody else take the center stage and put these characters aside just temporarily. So that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and you'll have on your screen now other videos covering this topic. So check those out, and thanks for watching.